Go.
It's going.
It's going.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. Like Naughty Dog.
I'm coming.
Well, this game
more than 2 years ago, when we
were
were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
For real? Okay. Rebuilt for PS5. Let's do it. Let me see it.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from.
big ass
The
head.
4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames. Help us to reimagine The Last of Us.
Holy shit!
It gave us opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity.
Nigga!
Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth. You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters. Aside from that, facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances.
No, this shit look
glares,
beautiful. I ain't
right?
gonna
You get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue.
Got it.
Good. Good.
Wait,
You're able now to
that's the
not
same
only
guy that
just
played Miles
have
Morales.
the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game
he
is
really
benefited
growing up. I did
from
not know you played
seamless
so early.
transitions and
Damn,
emotional
shorty
scripting.
gone.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories happen
Yo,
in
the-
gameplay.
Oh my
on a
fucking
stick.
god.
Mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Riley, come here. Now you got this. Go.
Pre-delivery.
One of the things that the PlayStation 5 is really enabling
God.
is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do
this game is
before. Like this
multiplayer.
has always been
It is multiplayer.
the dream, is to have this number of bumpables,
The first one
chippables,
is-
breakables,
I know there's
destructible objects in a
another one
scene.
coming out
Just makes the
for
world
Last of Us
feel
Part 2.
rich. It makes it feel lived in.
Plays both of them.
Materials
Hold
can
on, I'm
have
gonna
the
answer after
properties
this.
that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear. There's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's
a
giving
big
us a much more
motherfucker.
dynamic range of gameplay to play
I remember
with.
all these scenes, yo.
Our AI
never
tech
even
has just
played this shit. I
increased
really wanted to,
incredibly.
though.
What we were building the basis off of was
You
the
know
Last
they're
of Us
making
Part
HBO
2's
Max
AI. And it
live
has
series.
sophisticated systems for things
Yeah.
like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more
Wonder if they're gonna
sophisticated.
kill that nigga.
Damn!
Now how the enemies are communicating with each other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Damn.
Dang.
I remember that sniper scene, bro.
The other big AI
remember
improvements
that
is the
scene.
buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies
Finally.
can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing
Bro,
me.
back then in the
This really
PS3,
lets
my
the buddies
nigga,
make very
Ellie used to get
complex,
fucking,
decisions
I don't know,
that maintain
bro.
that feeling of stealth much more believably.
Ellie
Big
was
enhancement
fucking-
to the gameplay is
If
that
you know,
we
you know.
have this technology called motion
don't know.
matching.
Okay.
Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds
How we
of
don't see him? I
animations.
was about to say.
A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically
shit.
every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this
That's
motion
pretty cool.
model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for. For example, we now have a permadeath mode. Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
And that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
The audio?
Yeah, the audio shit instead of the subtitles. I actually fuck with that. I actually do.
So much of the identity of The Last of Us is the world.
It gives you more suspense.
We revamped completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas.
Damn!
Not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral way. The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then, to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel feel, humidity, you can actually feel it. All these environments are just completely reimagined.
Damn.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room, and you're hearing them trying to get it behind you.
I can hear that shit in my mic. I heard that shit in my mic.
That shit is scary as fuck. Yeah, I heard it too.
Having that two-part reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it just really heightens that sense of just being grounded. You are in this character, you are in this world.
No, there's an online coming. I'm telling you. Well, hold on, I'm gonna tell you more about it.
With the PlayStation 5, the amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as the bow gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger.
It's that PS5 for you.
When you are aiming and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're gonna feel on the controller.
Oh shit!
This looks like a good spot.
That's fire!
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're gonna get that haptic feedback on that. We
That's
have,
crazy, man!
all across the board.
I'm actually getting hyped.
Expect for
That's how I ain't gonna play this game, bro. I'm gonna get hyped.
Getting melee, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
Hey, giraffe, what that tongue do, yo? Chill out.
To me, that's the essence of The Last of Us. It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. It's you're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can. And that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
He's a good seller. He's a good seller, bro. Like the way he talks and stuff like that. It's like, you know how people like sell people shit, like, you know, marketing and shit like that.
Yeah. There's something special about that core experience
he's a nice
of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
I see them making this shit in GTA 6. I mean, also in development for PC. Oh, that shit finna be fun.